Hey, today we are going to talk about the best and worst things about living in Texas during the summer. Let me just say it's hot. And my name's Dana Pollard, and this is my husband, Brandon Pollard, and we are real estate agents in Texas, and we want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly about the summers in Texas, yes?
Absolutely.
All right, so we're going to just jump right into it. Oh, by the way, if you're thinking about buying a home in Texas, fill out the Dream Home Questionnaire in the link below and schedule your one-on-one consultation. Anyway, let's get going. Okay, so we were talking about this. What are some of the best things about living in Texas? I would say the number one thing that I love is the easy travel.
Yeah, so we're near the International Airport, DFW Airport. You can travel anywhere in the United States. We actually like to go on vacation to Mexico,
Cancun,
be near the beach, see the ocean. It's usually crystal clear this time of year. And so that's fun for us. It does get hot in Texas, so we enjoy a little bit of a sea breeze. And just getting away.
Yeah, so we are not in Dallas-Fort Worth. We're not close to the beach. So we like to, it's easy to just jump on a plane. It's a 2.5-hour flight to Mexico. But the great thing about Texas is we are centrally located. So we have many clients who move here for that central location. If they have, maybe grown kids throughout the country, throughout the different states, this is a great central location. But for summer specifically, if it gets too hot, we like to just hop on a plane, go to Cancun, and enjoy the beach. All right, the second we talked about is outdoor water life.
Yeah, so Texas has a lot of man-made lakes, and if you enjoy boating, if you enjoy sailing, Texas is a great place because you're going to find a community of people that enjoy that as well. Skiing, water skiing. We did a lot of fishing growing up. We were near the lake. There's a lot of trees, so you can do picnics near the lake. And we just, as Texas, we like to get wet during the summer. So
yeah, because I personally only like to go swimming or get in the lake if it's like 90 degrees or hotter. That's just my personal thing. I know some people can jump into a pool when it's 80 degrees. I don't like to do that. So I like the hot summers for the water activities. And we were just out at the lake, and it's great to see, like, there are literal communities that huddle around in these in like the, what do you call them, the slips?
Yeah, the little coves.
The little slips and the coves, and they will every single weekend they hang out at the lake. So that's a big deal here in Texas. Plenty of lakes everywhere. So we don't have the beach unless you go to Galveston or Corpus Christi, but we do have lakes. All right, the next thing that we love about Texas are the backyard neighborhood parties.
Yeah, so recently we have 4th of July coming up, and so we had neighbors inviting us to, hang out and do a 4th of July party, and that's really common in Texas. We hear from people out of state that they just move in and they get a knock on the door and inviting them over.
Yes.
And so that's really common for barbecues. Us as men, we're going to have the best grills. We're going to do a lot of steaks. In fact, I bought a new smoker for Father's Day and doing
vegans
brisket.
Might not do well here.
Well, brisket is a favorite in Texas. So there's a lot of backyard things going on in Texas.
Yeah, so we have a Facebook group at which our neighbors will invite all the new neighbors when they move in. They invite them to the Facebook group, and then we just interact with our neighbors right here on our cul-de-sac. And it's a lot of fun because then every weekend you have a party to go to. Hopefully the party you're going to, they have a pool. Because those are always fun. But let's transition to the worst things about living in Texas in the summer. And the first one, it's obvious, guys. It is the heat, especially this summer. There's a heat wave going throughout the country, but it is very hot. We haven't had this hot of a summer in a very long time. Normally, the average high is 96 degrees, which to me is bearable. But once we get 101, 102, 107, dear Lord, it's unbearable.
So one of the things I'll add too is that we have a lot of concrete in the city. And so it feels like a microwave at times when you're just around the concrete. So
or getting into your car
after
being
it's been sitting in the parking lot, right?
Yeah.
So I've been in Texas almost my whole life. And so it's not terrible to me because, again, I get around the pool, I get around places that are a little cooler.
Oh, you get used to it. You really do.
But if that's the worst thing,
I don't know. I don't know that I can get used to 105-degree weather. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, I will say that
you like the pool.
I like to play. If you're an outdoors person, I like to play sand volleyball, and you can lose weight in this kind of
yes,
heat.
You can.
There are people that pay to sweat, and you don't even have to do that. It's free in Texas. So
yeah, good point. Okay, so the other thing that I don't like about Texas, at least in the Dallas, Fort Worth, Austin area, is that we don't have the ocean, which is why we like travel so much. But not living near the ocean is a big downer for me personally. Like, we have to actually schedule a trip to go to the beach.
Right. So, lakes are a fantastic place to get cooled off. But I grew up for overseas, being near the ocean for several years, and I get that nostalgic feeling when that sea water smell comes through and you just hear the seagulls. So I'm with you that it's not quite the same living in the city as it would be near the ocean. So that's definitely
we do go to Galveston on occasion, and it's not known to have the best beaches. I would say that it's clean, but it's not going to be your white sand beach. I do like the waves there. Galveston is not known to be like your most pristine city. So people don't love it. People in Texas, many of them drive to or fly to South Padre. So South Padre is a better beach if you're going to go to beach in Texas, but it's still not going to be your California coast or Florida beaches by any means.
So what I heard you say was, even with the worst, you can still drive to Galveston and get on a cruise ship.
Yeah, you can get on the cruise.
So
that's easy and it's
distance.
Cheap.
Yes.
It's very cheap.
All right.
Okay, so the last thing that we would say, you probably hadn't thought about this, but one of the worst things about living in Texas during the summer are the backyard parties that have no pool, no way to cool off, like birthday parties, or your neighbors invite you over and you're all just standing outside in
around
the heat.
Concrete, just looking at each other. And you're trying to be kind, and you're like, okay, listen, where's the pool? At least put a sprinkler out, because I'm not too old enough to jump through a sprinkler, especially in Texas heat.
Slip and slide, do you remember those?
I do remember those.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I'm too old for that. I can hear my back cracking.
So I just remember when our kids were little, we would go to backyard parties, birthday parties, and I love hanging out with friends, and our kids got to play, but if they didn't have a way to cool off, oh my gosh, it's hot. So we would all try to, stay indoors, but if that door is open constantly, it's letting the heat in and you're just sweating and you're like, when can I get home?
Kids never leave the door open.
Yeah. So those are our best and worst things about living in Texas during the summer. If you have input, put it in the comments below. Let us know what your best and worst things about living in Texas are in the summer, or maybe you've visited here, or maybe you have a question about that. Put that in the comments below, and thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great day.